Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever you are, whenever you are on planet Earth. My name is Ode Knight, and this is the show. Saturday afternoon, 12:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is an impromptu message that I'm putting out here, so forgive me if I flub around, blander, whatever. But this needs to be said. Recent events that happened within the last 2 days between my professional life as well as my personal life that didn't happen directly to me, but happened to other people around me. And I have to take a step back further away from the situation and make notes of what's happening and how people are reacting to these things, and there are other people's reactions to these reactions as well. And in some cases, you can see a clear-cut line of bullying, where somebody's picking on somebody else just because they can, or just because they feel like they're inferior, but they want to hide their inferiority and instead cast a spotlight on somebody else and make them doubt, make them unconcerned about other things, that sort of thing. Now, with that said, there are people out there who, for whatever reason, feel like they have a right to just go out and insult people left and right as they see fit. Bad idea, wrong idea, should be called out, any way, shape, or form, within reason. Because you can go too far and say, hey, you know what? I don't like you insulting this other person here, so I'm going to insult you and continuously insult you. Because that in and of itself is bullying. But calling somebody out for a bad action on another human being is not bullying. Calling somebody out for spreading misinformation is not bullying. Calling somebody out for saying something very malicious to another person with no reason and no warrant, no justification, is not bullying. Doing the same thing to them, or worse, is bullying. Now, I'm going to go into specifics on something here, and I'm going to make a clarification. It's not a defense on my part. I've made my apologies to the person in particular, even though it was a joke. It's what I thought was friends, picking on each other, being friends sort of thing. The inside, we're going to call you this funny name here because we think it's funny, and, you'll get it. And for the most part, I thought nothing of it. And the other person initially, based off of his reaction to it and our conversations after the fact, thought nothing of it as well. But nothing else was said to me, and so I thought, okay, it's all right, especially considering that said person has also made, commentary jokes that could be seen as a bit rude or derogatory, nothing major, but a little bit like that, if looking from the outside and not knowing the history between us. With that said, though, anyone who wants to take some sort of understood language between two people and then stretch whatever language they're using to each other in a jovial manner, and then take it to be something derogatory, and then assault the person with it, is wrong. Now, me personally, I haven't seen, touched, felt any sort of backlash whatsoever, but the person on the other end has, and that concerns me. Not because it's not happening to me, but because it's happening to somebody that I would consider at least a comrade, if not a friend. I don't like that. And for everybody out there, you shouldn't like it either. You shouldn't have to put up with other people literally insulting other people just because they can. That shouldn't happen. You shouldn't have to deal with people bullying you. Now, that's not to say that you take lethal action and start, killing everybody who's a bully out there. Because from my own personal experience, if I did that, I would have a lot less friends today. So for all you people out there who are being bullied, not every one of them will be your friend later on in life. But you show resolve. Those out there who are bullying you, once they mature, once they actually grow some brain cells and realize not only were their actions wrong, not only were they unjustified, but holy heck, they come to respect you and realize that, wow, they made a huge mistake, they will come around to you. They will tell you that. In some cases, my own personal experience, they even beg for your forgiveness. Take that time and that opportunity to not just forgive them, but to move on in life and be able to enjoy it. Be able to enjoy your life with them. Be able to see that you are a human being. They are a human being. Things happen. Yeah, there were mistakes made earlier on, but you know what? All is forgiven. We'll take the lessons learned and move on in life. Some cases, they don't need to be retaliated. They just need to be ignored. In other cases, you need to find out what's ailing them and don't use it against them, but just bring it to light. You'd be surprised how many of those bullies feel vulnerable, feel like they have to hide their weakness by exploiting a weakness in somebody else. And if they can't find one, they'll manufacture one. Or somebody's seen as esteemed in whatever small community or big community, whatever, and there's a bunch of people who hate them just because they are successful at something, they'll pick on them. And they will use whatever means necessary to try and bruise them, break them, pull them down. To all the people who are in positions of power or authority, don't abuse it. Don't. Because there will come a time where somebody will be higher than you, better than you, stronger than you, faster than you, smarter than you. And you better hope they don't act like you. Because if they do, you're in for a world of hurt. And everything that you've done to other people, you're going to feel it. I'm sure you don't like it. And for some of you who say, well, that's the way of the world, I come back and you say, only if you make it so. Only if you make it so. Because I, for one, will make sure that my kids don't learn that lesson. That's the way of the world. No, it's not. You make the way of the world, and the other people around you make the way of the world. So if everybody's on that same page and say, okay, we're the ones setting up the rules here, let's change it for the better, it won't be that way, will it? It's full of people who are being bullied. There is no magic formula out there that says this is how you survive bullying and be a better person for it. Each experience could very well be unique. Each person that's bullying you could have different motivations for doing so. First and foremost, if they're drawing this negative attention to you, you must be doing something right. They must be doing something right to have somebody come up and hate on you when you're minding your own business, when you're trying to better yourself, or when you're trying to just enjoy yourself without hurting anybody else. It may be different to them. It may be strange. You may be better than them, and they will try to come and tear you down because that's their only weapon against you. Some cases you can ignore them. In other cases, it may become physical. In this 21st century here, just the mentioning of somebody's name and associating a negative tag with them online can have repercussions that will last decades. So here's where we as a society need to understand that there are some people who will write mean things online just for the sake of writing mean things, that they are unjustified, unwarranted. And yes, while the information age is great in giving us pertinent information, it's also filled with a lot of fluff and lies and fabrications, which makes our lives harder now in trying to sort truth from fiction. But we have to take that time to do so. If we are going to combat this bullying in wherever realm or in whatever methods they try to use, we have to take the time to sort out fact from fiction, and we have to take the time to be able to address those who are bullied and those who are bullying. We need to understand what causes them to do this, why they're doing this, and how they can stop. And my personal message to those who are being bullied out there: don't succumb to them. Don't fall. Don't break. Somehow, in some weird, twisted way, they see you as a threat to their popularity, a threat to their fame, fortune, whatever it is. Even though you are not doing anything wrong or have no intention of doing anything malicious to anyone, they see you as a threat. You're doing something right. Continue on being the good person that you are. Continue on to be smart, to stand up for what is right, to stop whatever injustice, whether great or small, is happening to other people. Be yourself. If you feel like going against the cultural norms of this is how you dress, this is the way you must look, and you're not doing any harm or disrespect to anybody, do so, and do it proudly. Even if you are the only person in the room, do so. You don't need to flaunt it. You just need to be you. Those people, whether immediately or later on in life, will come to respect you. That's just my experience from it. I can't say it'll happen to everybody. And I can't say every person who done it will come around and see the light and be your friend. But those who are reasonable out there, those who you address their fears, those who you try to understand them as a person instead of just an object to be picked on, or just some object that's coming out at you and threatening you. Once you see them as a human being, once you see them as a fellow human being, they will come around to you. Sometimes you got to wait. Sometimes you have to go on the offensive. Sometimes you just have to sit back and watch them trip over themselves. JP, that means literally. Long story, but when you're out there and you're listening to this, call me. Don't be afraid. Don't be picked on. Don't succumb to being picked on. Don't do their dirty work by folding, by caving in, by giving up. You who think that you are just one person against a wave of these people coming at you, stand up, stand strong, because your time will come. Now, to these other people that needlessly play the victim card, you need to stop, because you're not doing any justice to those people who really need assistance or help in dealing with these things. Everything from, and everyone from social justice warriors who are claiming, I'm a victim, every time somebody criticizes them on an action or on a decision or on a concept. If your concept can stand on its own merits, defend it on its own merits. If they are not attacking you, but they are scrutinizing the concept, do so. Defend it on its own merits. They're not attacking you, or they shouldn't be attacking you if they're going after the concept. Claiming victimhood is not doing anyone a service. It's not doing anyone any favors. It's not helping anybody. It bogs down the entire process of trying to find the truth. The biggest thing I have to say about this specifically is with SE Cupp going up against Bill Nye and claiming that science is bullying those people who deny climate change or deny the evolution or deny any other process here that we have been mounting volumes of scientific evidence for. If you are claiming that you are a denier of these things, present your evidence and let your evidence stand. Let it stand against scrutiny. Let it stand against questions. Let it stand against people who want to test it. Don't dismiss someone who comes up and says, hey, you know what? I think mankind is causing global warming or accelerating it, and here's the reasons why. Don't dismiss and say you're wrong or you're part of the system or what. You don't know until you study it. Look at the evidence, study the evidence, repeat the experiments, see if you come up with the same results. If you can't do it, then go talk to someone else who can, and then who can understand the data. Don't come out there and claim that you are being bullied by someone who's presenting the facts to you. This is happening. Here are some of the reasons why these are happening. Here's the data that supports that. That is not bullying. That is telling you what is. There's enough of this going on. We need to stop this. And it starts at the individual level. It starts with you. There's even a situation here where I am at fault, where I say I might be a bully in this case, where I am retaliating against someone who was insulting two other people, one which was just asking a plain question. So I'm even looking at my own actions and saying, is this bullying here? So I even question myself. And I urge you all to question yourself as well. Could I say this a different way? Could I deal with this circumstance in a different way? I'm not saying walk on eggshells. All I'm saying is take 5 to 10 more seconds to see if there's another avenue that we can use to start a dialogue. A meaningful dialogue that will lead to a solution. Even if the solution is not immediate, it will at least start the process towards one and continue on towards one. Actively continue on towards one. That needs to happen. This conversation shouldn't even be necessary. It shouldn't be, because it's one thing to say 5, 7, 9, 13-year-olds do this. Okay, they're trying to discover themselves, whatnot. When you're a grown man and a grown woman, you shouldn't need to bully anybody. If some people don't want to accept reality, move on. Find people who do. Work with them. If we have to deal with people who are in power that don't accept the reality, and see if we can find a method to either A, convince them, or B, remove them from power peacefully. That is still capable. That is still very capable. Doable. Is an achievable goal. We just need enough people to start doing it. And we need to get other people off of this mindset of, well, other people are doing it, therefore I must as well. Stop it. Stop it. That's how this cycle perpetuates. Change by starting with yourself. If every person does that, we're at least halfway there, if not almost all the way there. Change by starting with yourself. If you are bullying or if you are being bullied, look at what's happening and make the change with yourself. If it means stopping a bad action, trying to talk to somebody where, even if it's not the popular thing to do, whether it's not the most glamorous or favorite thing to do, the person may be socially awkward. Who gives a damn? They're a human being. They're trying to do right by themselves without hurting anybody else. Take the time to get to know them. You might learn something about yourself while you're doing it. I'm Odinite. I'm out.